Hi everyone, Ashley here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to be participating in a little YouTube video challenge. A couple of my friends here decided to start a kind of tarot and oracle show and tell. So it's basically just kind of like going through our collection and sharing our tarot and oracle collections. And I just thought it'd be fun to participate in that. So these decks aren't going to be in any particular order per se, although I am like at the beginning, I'm just gonna share like the first ones I worked with or received, and then it's just gonna kind of go from there. And there's also going to be a part 2 and possibly a part 3. I'm kind of separating them into sections. So a lot of the decks in this video are actually Llewellyn decks. And then I will probably just do a whole separate one for oracle decks, and there will be another tarot video that is just like the rest of my tarot decks. But that being said, let's go ahead and start. So my very first deck ever is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. Oh, okay, I can't actually say my first ever deck ever. I did do a video on my first deck that I ever owned, and that is an oracle deck, but this is my first tarot deck. I just wanted to clarify that. And this deck was gifted to me. Now, I know some people believe that you are to be gifted your first tarot deck. I don't necessarily believe that, because if it was just up to me, or like, you know, before I met my wonderful friend who gifted me this deck, I don't know if a tarot deck would have ever come across my path. So thankfully, you know, again, I don't really necessarily believe that. If you don't have somebody who in your life that might gift you one and you are interested, I say just go for it and pick one out that you believe is calling you, or one that you want to work with. But this one was gifted to me. And it's the Raven's Prophecy Tarot by Maggie Stiefvater. Comes with an amazing guidebook. I'm not going to flip through everything with you guys, or else we'd be here forever, but it does come with an awesome guidebook. And in this box, again, Llewellyn. I love Llewellyn decks. I love their boxes. I love their books. Usually their guidebooks are absolutely amazing, and their decks are also awesome. The only reason why this deck is not in here is because it sits on like my altar space right now, and I did do a modification on it. And this deck is thick. It's like a lot thicker now because I added contact paper to the backing, so it won't fit in the box anymore. But I did, as you can see, there's the contact paper. The backs actually ended up looking like this. Well, it had this symbol on the back, and when I trimmed it, because I did trim my deck as well, this is what the cards originally look like. I did not like the orange borders, so I trimmed mine and then added the backings. So this is what mine looks like now. I really like, okay, it's upside down. Sorry about that. I like the borders trimmed. I think it just makes the artwork and the images pop more without that bright orange border around it. And I can use this deck intuitively if I want to, or the guidebook has pictures of the cards with the keywords or the titles on the bottom, so I can easily find which one is what. But I just thought I'd make it like a little fun study deck this way too. But that's this deck. And the cool thing is that this deck is also based on a series, like a book series. And just recently, I found them. Now, I originally read this series as a book swap. It was like a buddy read with my friend who sent me this deck. And I found these at Goodwill for $1 a piece, still in really good condition. And I'm going to reread them at some point, along with using the deck. I want to use this deck while I read these books again. So I thought that would be fun. Okay. Moving on to my next deck. So my friend also sent me this deck, the Seers Tarot. This is my second tarot deck that I ever owned. And this one is different. She wanted to send this to me because this one is more of a traditional based deck. So it has a lot of Rider-Waite-Smith symbolism. And the artwork is also really beautiful. It's bright, It's actually very, very bright and I like it. It gives me something else different to work with, especially since now I've kind of found my style to be a little bit more on the darker side as far as the artwork or aesthetic. But I really like this because it gives me different perspective, and I mean, the artwork is just stunning in this deck. The guidebook is also great. Oh, I did edge this one in a greenish color. But yeah, the guidebook's really good, but Chris Ann, the author here and the creator of this deck, just came out with, I think it's still on pre-order or it might already be out, but she has an expanded guidebook for this deck, which I'm really curious about. But anyways, that's my second deck that I ever owned. And then I wanted to have kind of a beginner deck so I can not necessarily pull, I mean, this does come with a guidebook. This is just one from Amazon, and it does come with a guidebook. I loved the backings. I did edge it, but I wanted one where it had like all the information on the cards already, so I didn't necessarily have to pull out, oh, there's some upside down ones. I didn't necessarily have to pull out a guidebook. You know, I could just draw a card and be like, oh, there's the keywords. Okay, that's what it's talking about. It also gives you yes and no cards, zodiac information, chakra, and element. So I thought this deck was pretty neat. It also gives you the reversed meaning. So this was just one I bought to like help me learn tarot a little bit more. And again, also make it convenient for when I need to do like a quick pull and then be like, okay, there's my keywords and there we go. So there's that one. Okay, I will get that in the box later. Okay, and now we get into like the themed decks, like the ones that really drew me in. And the first one was the Tarot of the Haunted House by Sasha Graham. I saw this deck by Leanne Aligned here on YouTube, and I was just amazed. It is a Liskerbia deck, so you just get this little white book here, and it's in multiple languages. So you get like very little information, but what's in here is really cool. It's very story based. Like you really get immersed into this like haunted house theme. I love the backs too, and I edged it in black, but the artwork is just absolutely stunning. I love the artwork. This deck is very easy for me to like tell a story with, especially when I'm doing spreads and there's multiple cards going on. I can like really get a good picture as to what's going on. So I love this deck for that. This is one of my favorite decks. I absolutely love this one. I don't consider it to be just like a Halloween or spooky season deck. I can use this deck anytime. It's beautiful. Okay, so there's that one. And then moving right along, we have the Linestrider Tarot. This one is very different too from what I have been getting. I like my aesthetic that I have grown to, or that I have grown into, but I really do like this deck too. It has a different vibe, a different feel. It's softer. It's like all watercolor based. And this guidebook has a lot of good information in it too. Again, another Llewellyn. But it's stunning. It's really, really pretty. I love all the watercolors, but it definitely has a softer, more watery, emotional type feel to it. And I also have, which this is the cutest thing ever. I also have the little mini version, and look how tiny. These little mini decks just like blow me away. They're so tiny. But I love them because they're definitely perfect to throw in my bag. Oh, I love that one. They're perfect to toss in a bag and take with you anywhere you want to go. So I really do like that about these little mini decks. Okay, I'm having problems getting them in the boxes. There we go. Okay. Now the rest of these, again, aren't going to be in any particular order. I'm just going to go through the rest of these that I have here. Again, most of them are Llewellyn. But let's just start here. My home deck, or Ride or Die deck. And that is Tarot of Vampyres by Ian Daniels. This deck, oh my goodness. Sometimes I take a little break from it and work with other decks, but I always come back to this one. This one is trimmed. This is my original one that I got at the end of last year. It has normally a black border around it, and I trimmed it down and then edged in black, and I love the size of it. This deck is just amazing. This deck speaks to me and tells me what's going on in a soft, loving way. I just love it. The guidebook is also fantastic. There's a ton of information in here. He walks you through how to figure out what your birth card is and all of that good stuff as well. So there's a lot of good information in here. Although, well, I'll get to that. But and also I have a backup copy because this deck is currently out of print. I don't know if it'll ever come back, but I wanted to get another copy. So I'll show you a comparison. So this is what they look like originally, and that's what it is now, trimmed all the way down. But I am so sad that it's out of print though. And it's just sad when decks go out of print, but I'm happy to at least have a backup just in case if anything happens to my other one. So there's that, my all-time favorite. Okay, next up, WildWood Tarot. I love this one as well. This one just gives you like that fall, autumn, witchy vibe, and it's amazing. This is another favorite of mine. I have a lot of favorites, you guys, but Tarot of Vampyres is like at the top, and then it like goes down from there, but I really love this deck too. Again, I'm not gonna like flip through a whole bunch with every single one of these, but I also have the little mini version, which is also stinking adorable. Like, oh my goodness. The colors in this deck are stunning as well. Okay, so WildWood. All right, let's see here. I will go with these Celtic ones. I have some Celtic decks here, mainly because I found out recently this year that my lineage, it's not like 100% confirmed, but doing some research, my lineage may have Celtic ties and could have originated from Wales, which I thought was really interesting. And this deck, the Llewellyn Tarot, is based on like the Wales Celtic, what do I want to say? Legends, myth, lore, all that good stuff. And this deck is really beautiful too. Here's the back. This is trimmed as well. When you get it, it comes with this big border with like 2 titles on top and bottom. And I trimmed it down to this, and I love it. I absolutely love it this size. I love how like small it is. And I also, of course, edged it. But the artwork in this is beautiful too. I love that loose, sketchy watercolor vibe this deck has. And with all these like yellow gold colors, it just feels so warm and comforting to me. So this is a comfort deck. I love coming to this one when I need a little comfort. The guidebook is also great, especially with the majors. The majors, you get like the actual like legend that they tied in with the certain card. So it's a fun read. And then I've already shared this one on my channel. This is a recent new one that I have. It's the Greenwich Tarot. This is also Celtic, has like Celtic vibes to it. And this guidebook, and Maura, I have her Tarot for the Greenwich book now too. And I just love her writing and her take on the cards. This book is really good too. Here's the backs of these cards. This is another favorite. I love this deck. I've grown really attached to it, and I'm so happy it's in my collection too. And then a couple other favorites. I love Julia Jeffries' artwork. I first started with the Witch Sister deck. It's the newest one of hers. The guidebook is amazing. This all has to do with Scotland and like Scottish witches, Celtic witches. It's very amazing. I love having a deck that was created by a lady who actually lives in Scotland, like lives in that area and has done her research and creates this gorgeous deck. I mean, her artwork is beautiful. Again, this is another favorite. This one too, what I love about it is that it's not based on like Rider-Waite-Smith system. She wrote the guidebook as well, and she wanted it to be like kind of its own thing. So if you look at it in that way, like this is a completely different deck altogether. It's just, I think it's awesome. I love that she created it as its own thing. I feel like that card in the bottom is like, there we go. It's like kind of stuck in there weird. Ooh, I like that one too. But anyway, I do love the fact that it's like a different take on the cards, and it's like a study deck because you can learn quite a bit with that and get a different perspective. Her other one is the Tarot of the Hidden Realm, and this one is based on the Fae. And I love it as well. I love that Barbara Moore worked with her on this one, and I can't get that out. I love the backings of this deck as well. Which, there's the backing. Again, her artwork's beautiful. I just love it. But I love that it's the Fae. You're entering the world of the Fae. And just love it. That right there just gives me fall vibes. So there's Tarot of the Hidden Realm. I also like working with this one, which we'll get to it in my Oracle video, but this one with the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. I like using that with that one. Okay. My other Llewellyn deck is Tarot of Vampyres. This is another vampire deck. This one is definitely different. This one, like I really love Tarot of Vampyres by Ian Daniels, of course. That's like my all-time favorite. And this one definitely gives you more of that like newer vampire type thing. Like Ian Daniels' Tarot of Vampyres feels like sumptuous, and you have the jewel tones, and it's just very like old-timey kind of a vibe, and this is more like modern vampire. But it is beautiful. I do love the backings on it as well, and it's beautiful. It gives you a different take on things. And I love all the Ankhs, the Egyptian Ankh symbol. I love that it's in here a lot. So and some of these images remind me of a book series that I love, so I love it. Let's get that back in there. And I also love Charles Harrington's, like the book. Charles Harrington wrote the book in here, and he also wrote the book in Murder of Crows, and I really like his take and view on some of these things too. Almost done, you guys. Just a few more. Here's another Llewellyn. This is the Wizard's Tarot. This one was gifted to me as well, and I really like it. I love Barbara Moore's books as well, and this book is so beautiful. Well, not just the book, but like the deck. Like these are the images that are in the deck, and it's stunning. Absolutely beautiful. However, the backs of the cards came with this design on the back. And I have a video on here where I talked about, where I actually shared how I mod a deck and how I reback something if I don't like it. And that's what I did with this deck. So it had that backing and I didn't like it. This deck is still a work in progress, and it's super thick and chunky, so it will not fit in the box. But I added this backing to it, and I like it so much better than having like that on the back. Like this right here just doesn't make sense to me. So I just added a black background or a black back to it, and I like that a lot better. So there is the Wizard's Tarot. Okay. Last few for today. Now we're not into the Llewellyn decks anymore. This one is the Antique Anatomy Tarot by Claire Goodchild. This is on Amazon. The guidebook, I absolutely love her take. The descriptions of the cards aren't that big, but what's there is really good jumping off points. You may recognize her name. I forget what it is on Instagram and stuff, but she's also the creator of the Momentum Mori deck, which is an oracle deck. And I didn't know she had a tarot deck until I was on Amazon one day and it popped up, and I was like, oh my goodness. And it's beautiful. I love this deck. The like mix between like the, you know, death, like, you know, the anatomy with the beautiful flowers, it just captivates me. And it totally reminds me of the Practical Magic movie. I don't know why, but this to me reminds me of like their grimoire, because the back looks like grimoire pages, and then you have like all these herbs and, you know, tonics and like all that stuff. So I really enjoy this one. So that's the Antique Anatomy Tarot. All right, this one is a newer one to my collection as well. This is the WildWood Tarot. And this is another one that I love, although it's kind of hard to get out of the box. There we go. The guidebook is amazing. This guidebook walks you through a lot. And I love that it gives you the meaning, it gives you the position on the wheel, and it actually talks about the wheel up here at the beginning. So you get the seasonal, like this deck is very based on like seasonal poles and also Celtic legends and stuff like that too. It has a lot of that good stuff in it. In Mother Earth vibe. Like this is a very earthy deck to me, and the artwork also is stunning in it. I know there's a lot of people that really study this deck, and I'm actually part of a Facebook group that where you study this deck and you walk through it, and it's really, really enlightening. I really love it. I love the shaman, well, the magician's called the shaman in this deck. This deck really does have like a shaman feel to it too. And it's been really fun to work with it as well. So there's the WildWood. Okay, and the last one that I'm going to share with you guys today is the Mary L. Tarot. This one was gifted to me recently, and okay, it's magnetic too. It was gifted to me recently, and I actually really love this deck. This deck is very straightforward with me for some reason. It just is. Like, I had pulled it out of the box, did a quick cleansing of it, and I was instantly just like I did a pull and it was like, whoa. Just FYI, there is nudity in this deck in case you see any, but this deck is beautiful. I love the artwork in this deck. It's so pretty. The unicorn. It's so, so pretty. So I really enjoy working with this deck. This also is like a study deck. Some people, I love that one too. I know there's like controversy about this deck, but I really enjoy it. It's really been speaking to me, so I'm just learning it as well, learning how it works and speaks to me. But okay, there's all of my tarot decks for today. I will be back with some more, but I just wanted to share those with you for today, just so we weren't here like all day long. So stay tuned for part 2 and also for my Oracle deck video. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day as well, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.